Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Has anyone experienced a noticeable glitch in their life?
So far, I've counted 3 types of non-computer glitch that you as a random anon can experience for yourself. The first is a brain glitch. Tis ptiud meme is a pikreft empixley of a bairn jitsilage. It happens all the time. It can be as simple as consistently failing to see a spelling error, despite seeing it every day, or as complex as hallucinating that you're on a game show where the object is to pee on as many strangers riding the bus as possible. The second type is a bona fide reality glitch. This is where physical laws do not behave as they're supposed to. You might think that natural laws are perfect and universal, but you would be wrong. Between black holes, quantum gravitation, entanglement, and uncertainty, there's no shortage of glitches in the cosmic OS. Finally, there's the most interesting type of glitch, the unknown glitch. This is a glitch which, for one reason or another, does not belong in the first 2 categories. Some examples are certain instances of mass hysteria, UFO sightings, and generally paraphenomena. Most of these are only type 3 because it is difficult to determine using available evidence whether they are actually type 1 or type 2 glitches. Some, however, are legitimately unknown and may be the result of forces or machinations beyond those we know or imagine.
I had an incident a few days ago and I'm still spooked over it. I'm used to most spoopy shenanigans, but this, I don't know what to think or do even if I could do anything about it. Sunday night. Wake up to get ready for work. Work in a laboratory, have for years. Run basic chemical tests and titrations. And work on projects, mostly routine work. Most things seem normal, but do not feel right. Subconscious red flags are flying and alarms are ringing. Nothing so far is out of place though. Gather samples, begin setting up for tests. Most follow the same testing method. Get to sample 45, run it as I usually do, add solution A, 50 milliliters of 20% sulfuric, and then titrate with starch and a thiol. Answer is completely off, like a blank. Grab new 45 sample, run again, wrong again. Adjust sample tank source, troubleshoot, repeat throughout the whole night, have no idea what is going wrong. Next shift comes in and helps. He says, "What the fuck were you doing, anon?" He says, "We have never used that method for 45. He says, "Solution A is for this unrelated test." He uses a totally different method and gets a good answer. I have done this for years and never did what he did. All the tank adjustments I did ended up fucking up the tank sample source. Boss yells at me, asks me why I fuck up all the time. He says, "This is why I put you on night shift, you cannot handle startup," writes me up, and says one more and it will be my 3rd, and that I will be fired. Never had an incident or write-up before, not even a warning. I volunteered for the night shift because the other guys kept falling asleep. I think I may have somehow Mandeled and slipped into a parallel dimension. Some things are totally different than I remember. At first I thought people were fucking with me, but now I'm genuinely scared.
This happened to me about a year ago. Woke up for class at around 8:30 a.m. I overslept and had to be on campus at 8:45 for a 9 a.m. class. Call my professor to tell him I'm going to be about 15 to 20 minutes late. It goes to voicemail, so I leave him a message. Quickly get ready and leave. The drive is usually about 30 minutes, and the first 10 minutes is just getting out of the woods to the parkway. The road is one way with no other turns aside from my neighbor's driveways. It was raining heavily this day, so I was taking my time trying to avoid any fallen branches. I drove for about 20 minutes and realized that I should probably speed up if I wanted to make it to class on time. 10 more minutes pass and I am still not out onto the parkway yet. Visibility is very low, but nothing really seemed out of the ordinary until I passed the driveway to my house. This is impossible due to the fact that the road does not connect with anything. I am late for class and I am freaking out due to the situation. Decide to keep going. Think I am seeing things until it happens again. However, this time my driveway and house are not even there. I am really freaking out and I call my parents. No service. Call again about 20 times until I finally get through. Voicemail. Start to drive again. It is about 9:45. There is a point on the road where you can see the parkway when they both run parallel. For the first time that day, I see it and go straight off the road to it. It is pretty rough. And my bumpers got damaged due to some things on the ground, but I made it out fine. Finally on the parkway heading to class. Check my phone and it is 10:15 a.m. Get to my uni and head straight to my professor's office to apologize for the absence. Class is only 50 minutes. Every clock in the office reads 4:30 p.m. And he says he got my message right before the class started. Blamed it on the weather and he let the absence go. Still don't know what happened and nothing like this has ever happened to me since.
One time as a young teen, my parents never really taught me about expressing myself or how to express myself. They taught me more like not to be swayed by emotion. Well, one time, I can't remember why, but one time I was in my room silently raging hard. I was raging fucking hard and I didn't know how to express it, but the rage was burning bright. I had one of those folding chairs in my room, like the ones they use in professional wrestling to hit each other with. That chair was sitting 1.5 feet away from me at most. The chair moved slightly away from me and I knew I wasn't just seeing things because it made a noise as it scraped across the floor when it moved. I suddenly calmed down, amazed at what had just happened, convinced my rage set something in motion that allowed me to move this chair without touching it. I eventually learned to express myself and never duplicated this event again. I have a strong feeling I tapped into something that we're not evolved to tap into yet.
Here's my life glitch that literally saved my life. Must have been 14 or 15. I think I was in junior high, cannot remember. School selects students that are talented in sport to represent the region in a statewide competition. This time, the event was a long-distance running. Piece of cake, day off school, why not? Be in Greece. Bus is driving along one of our many winding roads to where the race will take place. Now here is a side note. Anyone who has ever been to Eastern Europe would have noted that we are quite a mountainous area. When we drive outside of the cities, the roads are narrow and usually driving along a cliffside. Especially in Greece, if you ever drive rural or semi-rural. There are many churches on the side of the road. These symbolize where someone has been killed. It is our little memorial site for the deceased. Bus is driving up a big but not very steep slope. The seats are not all taken, but there are kids lounging around taking up 2 seats and just chilling out. It was a good day. Sun was out. Nice breeze. I am leaning against the back door flirting with some girl. We are chatting away. Everyone else is talking as well, not a worry in the world. Bus starts turning left up the slope. We are quite a fair way up, so there is a very generous drop if anything was to go wrong. Suddenly, the back doors where I was leaning against fly open. I remember this part crystal clear. Doors open. I start falling out of the now open space. I remember the girl's face changes from cheeky smiling to a mouth-open shock. I am falling. I can still grab on, but instead I turn my head and look at the drop. Now the drop is huge, as in I would be killed within the first 5 meters. There are rocks all over the side of the road, but the drop just keeps going. Easily over 100 feet. Now I remember time slowed down just about here. I turned back and threw my left arm in an attempt to grab the door handle to try and hoist myself back up. Oh shit, what the fuck do I do? Move. I'm out of reach. I remember between trying to reach for the door and the girl's face was completely horror-struck. She looked like she had seen a ghost. She was just standing there shrinking away because she was in shock. I turned again and looked at my fate. But by this point, my legs were not on the bus anymore. I cannot explain this part well, but I was horizontal with the bus, but my legs were still in the door cavity, though they were not on the bus, if that even makes sense. Either way, I was falling and I was too far out to grab a hold of anything. Then the most bizarre thing happens, as if someone hit a rewind button. All of a sudden, my body is pushed back up. I felt the pressure on my back. I felt something push me back up. I grabbed the handle and hoisted myself up. First thing I did was grab the doors and pull them shut. I look at the girl and she is ashen white. Only thing she can say was something along the lines of, "What just did you, how, what just happened?" Then she faints after she said the last words. I remember she was talking really, really softly, as if she had no energy. The thing I find most interesting is that I was pumped from the adrenaline, and the fact that no one else in the bus saw what happened, not a single person. Though I must admit that I did not shout. It was a very quiet event. But the interesting thing is that no one reacted to the sudden rush of wind or the noise of the door opening. I know it happened because the girl came to me after it happened and we spoke about it.
So here's mine. The Miss Jackson anomaly. When I was in college in the early 1990s, I'm absolutely positive the song Miss Jackson by Outkast was out. My friends and I even had an in-joke about saying forever ever, when somebody else would say forever. This was one of those things that lasted a few months. Now, jump forward to 2001. I'm in the Air Force, serving in Germany. I hear the song Miss Jackson by Outkast and say, oh, somebody remade this song. It may be important to note that when I knew the song years before, I don't remember who the artist was. Might have been Coolio. According to the CD label I checked out, Andre 3000 wrote the song. So I leave Germany in 2005 and went home. I meet up with some of my old buddies from college and we have the following conversation. Me, man, I haven't seen you guys in forever. Buddy, forever ever? Me, forever ever. Then we talk about college when we used to do that, and I mention that the song must have come out by a different artist or something. He had the same experience, and our friends agree that Miss Jackson was a hit song when we were in college in 1993 or 1994. I've checked around and found a few other people who remember Miss Jackson predating its real release. It's one reality glitch that others have experienced besides me.
I am about 6 or 7 years old, in Maryland on vacation. One day, me, my uncle, my mother, and sister went on a ferry to cross the Chesapeake. Exactly what we did this for, I cannot remember. We get off the ferry and start traveling down the coast. All of the coastal shops have signs written in Chinese. There were no Chinese people anywhere. There were no people around, period. Just us walking down the sidewalk. My uncle starts speaking to me in gibberish. I start to hear water running. I can hear my sister's voice over the sound of running water. She says, "Open your eyes, Anon. We are taking a picture." All of my what? I tell her that my eyes are open. I open them up wider to the point of straining. I keep hearing her telling me to open my eyes. Everything goes black. I open my eyes, and it turns out we are on the ferry returning to the hotel. I was laying face down on a bench being rocked by the boat. I was in a complete daze. My uncle gave me some French fries when I got up. I asked my mom what happened. She says, "You went to sleep as soon as we left the hotel room." I do not remember falling asleep at any point during the trip. I was wide awake and excited for it. I say, "If I went to sleep, why did you carry me to the boat?" Everything goes black once again. I wake up in bed at the hotel. My mother, uncle, and sister walk into the hotel room. I ask where they went. They boarded a ferry to cross the Chesapeake. They did not wake me because they thought I would not like it. They brought back Chinese. My sister shows me a Polaroid picture the three of them had taken while they were walking along the beach. Turns out I was asleep for about 18 hours. No one said anything about it, or thought to wake me up.
Be a police officer. Get a call to go to a house to stop a domestic violence fight. Some woman cheated on her husband, and the husband is mad as hell, threatening to kill her. Get to the house with a group of officers. Get in. Guy is standing in the kitchen, his arm locked around his wife's neck and has a knife to her throat. He cuts her throat. She falls down and dies. Tase the fucker right on the spot. Nothing happens. I tackle him, put cuffs on him. I escort him out the door to the police car. Hear a woman call me an asshole, turn around. She's alive with no wounds. Freak out. Tell her that she was dead. Officers look at me funny. I get fired for police brutality, for tasing and tackling a man who was cooperating. He totally was not cooperating when I was there.
At first, I put this one down to my father being dumb, but then some other stuff happened. Okay, so here goes Dad complains that someone drank his ginger beer. Convinced there was a bottle of it in the fridge. I tell him there was not because I remember exactly what was in the fridge. He refuses to listen. Brother needs more cereal on the shopping list. Says all the cereal is gone. We buy some more. Dad is putting stuff away. Finds box full of cereal in the cupboard. Brother swears it was empty. Mum eats some chocolate. I saw her eat the whole thing. So this is where things got weird. The next day, the whole bar of chocolate is back in the fridge. So far, nothing like this has happened to me this year. But last year, during the summer, we had a box of ice lollies in the freezer. Cola, lemonade, and cherry flavor. Not a big fan of the cherry ones. Cola is my favorite. But you only get 2 cola and 3 cherry per box. Eat all the cola ones, but check anyway, just in case there was an extra one. 3 cherry ones and 2 lemonade ones left. Next day, go to get one out. 3 cherry, 1 lemonade, and 1 cola one. Eat the cola one. Next day, 1 cherry, 3 cola ones left. By the end, they had all become cola ones.
I had a very hazardous experience 3 times in my life. First time a motorbike hit me. Second time I almost drowned. And third time 6 dudes jumped me and I remember beating me with bricks and stabbing me with knives. Each time at one point when I felt like I was done, time froze. Just like literally stopped with me too. And everything kind of went sepia brown. And each time I got a choice, like something inside my head was saying, "Are you sure you want to leave?" Each time I chose no. So let me explain how each moment turned out. First time with motorbike. Stopped in midair with the motorbike firmly jabbed into my thigh. Everything goes brown. Do you want to die? No. Time unfreezes, the motorbike stops almost instantly and I am thrown to the ground from the force. Get up and walk home. Couldn't swim till I was like 18. Embarrassing. Walking from friend's houseboat to shore. Slip, fall in. Feel my breath fading away and just kind of going unconscious. Everything goes brown. Do you want to die? No. Everything goes back to color. My breath comes back. Friend reaches hand into water and pulls me out. He wasn't there a second ago. Third time I wronged some bad people I really shouldn't had. Returning late from work, 11 hours in the evening. Get smashed in the head by a brick. Drop to ground. Feel knives cut all over. Hurts like hell. Feel more bricks hitting my head. Can't see much as I am on the ground, but everything goes brown again. Do you want to die? No. Suddenly feel revitalized, color comes back. See a brick on the ground. See it and swing for the closest motherfucker I reach. Hit him in the eye. Get up and swing out the way before a guy tackles me. Kick a guy trying to stab me. Run the fuck away to the bus station. Bus on the station. Jump in. Make it home. When I get home, check myself. No injuries minus a few bruises.
It was my best friend's wedding and we were in Sedona, Arizona. The festivities proper had just ended, and it was the core group of friends hanging out in one of the rooms that had been rented for the week. It was a full moon, just after a rainstorm, and the clouds were in fine form that night. Sections of the sky were occluded by the most wondrous formations, others were clear and open. You could see infinity. We had been walking for around 30 minutes when I felt this. I can only describe it as an ocean dropping on top of my consciousness. I remembered in distinct clarity the surroundings, the conversations, every detail, before it happened. The realization of this induced a hellacious nausea like I have never felt, even to this day. Part of me thinks it was some type of random dream-induced precognition. Another part thinks of retro-reincarnation, reliving this life over and over again, getting glimpses of it sometimes in a dream state. Yet another part of me thinks back to the quantum immortality argument. Basically, a save point in your memories that you can come back to if you die at any future point in life.
This is the one thing I'll never forget. Be about 6 years old, staying with grandparents for the night, always fighting with little brother, so they split us up so that I was with grandfather, brother was with grandmother. Wake up from nightmare, super thirsty and want some water. Get out of bed and step into the hall. Look down the hall into the kitchen and notice something moving. See the silhouette of my grandmother sitting on a bench in the kitchen crying, moving a hand up to her face, with what appears to be a tissue wiping her eyes, nose. Not sure I should walk in on her crying like that, so I turn around to go back to bed and leave her be. Look into the room my brother and grandmother share on my way back. See grandmother still in bed asleep. Look back down to the kitchen thinking I'm seeing things. The dark mass is still sitting there crying. Run back to bed and bury myself under the blanket. Few years later, my grandparents get divorced. See grandmother crying in the same spot after the divorce.
I have a lot of these that only happen when I've tried offing myself. Have a few examples. Be in Thorold, Ontario. Go to abandoned tower by canal and climb to top. Jump off, probably about 10 stories high. Go head first to attempt to break neck instead of legs. Close eyes just before impact out of reflex. Nothing happens. Open eyes. Be standing beside the water, completely dry and unharmed. Check gate. I opened and window I broke to get up there. Both in same condition I left them in. Also, buy thick rope from store. Tie rope with constrictor knot around tree branch, then stand on branch and tie rope around neck. Rope is about 1.5 inches thick and brand new. Jump back off branch to make sure the rope doesn't tangle and lose tension. Hear the rope crack. Blackout. Wake up with rope still around tree with noose still on it. Not even a mark on neck. Also, steal straight razor from friend's father because he kept it in great condition. Cut paper to make sure it's sharp as fuck. Paper doesn't even bend a little, it's sharp as fuck. Draw blade across own throat, making sure to go over carotid artery and jugular vein with a good amount of pressure. Look at blade, no blood. Cut paper again. Same result as previous test. Needless to say, I just fucking stopped trying. Not sure if these count as glitches or divine intervention, but I figured they'd be good for this thread.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.